recent weeks, the numbers of cases have dropped off dramatically. And yet, in the face of that, you've had the World Health Organization issue that this highest level of pandemic response, say that everyone has to be vaccinated worldwide. They've insisted, as part of this process of rushing it, that the vaccine has to include live virus and things like squalene and mercury in some of these vaccines, most of these vaccines, which are devastating for human health, not least the immune system. And clearly, when you see it unfolding, all this process of mass vaccination has been planned in the pipeline long before the swine flu arrived in public consciousness in April 2009. So when you put all that together, it is clearly a blatant manipulation to get access to everyone's body with this vaccine.
But they tried it before, huh? With this avian flu business and the SARS. But that was not well enough? Or?
Yeah, well, what they do, because these people are sick, but they're not stupid. Well, they are stupid if you go to a deeper level. They're stupid because they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, right.
But they're clever. And they don't do things, half cock, as we say in England. They have many trial runs, because what they're looking with the SARS thing and the bird flu thing is they're scanning the reaction.
Exactly.
Because they're heading towards the one where they're really planning to do, which I have no doubt is this one. So they're scanning the public reaction to see how best to sell the one they really want to go for to the public. But what they've found is that because of the circulation of information, not least the internet, overwhelmingly the internet, they're meeting a resistance that they wouldn't have met 5 to 10 years ago. Now, they know that if the flu virus continues to affect people in the minor ways it has so far, they're not going to get the mass vaccination through. And I have no doubt that what they're planning to do is to release, almost certainly in the vaccine, and through other means as well, a much stronger virus, because what they want to do is frighten people into acquiescence. And as more people are seriously affected by the virus, they'll then use that as an excuse to say, we need herd immunity. In other words, we need the overwhelming vast majority of people to be vaccinated to bring an end to this disease.
Yeah.
And so we're going to make it compulsory.
I know that, in Holland there was a problem with the delivery of these vaccinations. There were not enough, and it has been postponed a little, at least in the way they wanted to. But they are starting with it in the 3rd week of October. Last week of September, they're giving out this seasonal flu program, and then 3 weeks later, they're coming up with this swine flu business. We'll see, but I think, and that's a big question to many people, I think, that they need to create quite a bit of havoc and circumstances to be able to force these things onto people.
Yeah, well, the thing is that when you do the research at different levels of this, you find that, like I said, that the vaccine patents were applied for long before the virus people became aware of the virus in April. But also, through this same period of years running up to this, legislation has been passed to culminate in what's happening now. Legislation was passed, for instance, I think it was 2005, to give the World Health Organization power to insist on government reactions to pandemics if the World Health Organization, declared a certain level of pandemic.
Right.
So, okay, I have all the power when I decide to have all the power. That's what it says. Now that's part of it. But on another level, legislation has been passed, and pieces on the chessboard have been moved to prepare for mass policing in the streets of the domestic population by the military. in America, for instance, they're applying for permission, they might have it by now, for up to around 400,000 troops to be used on the streets of America in a state of a disease pandemic. So all these things have been placed, and you know, if you listen to what I call the dark suits, the politicians and the administrators and the spokesmen of the various agencies, they kind of tell you what's coming. And I noticed that when the swine flu became public knowledge in April in Mexico, I was seeing these dark suits in France, in Britain, in America. They were all kind of mantering the same thing. Oh, this could be much worse in the fall, in the winter. They're telling us what's coming. Then you've got, at a time in Britain where the people are being affected in very mild ways by this virus, even if it is often that virus, like I say. And the numbers have fallen off dramatically in Britain of even people who have got it, where the health authorities in Britain, particularly a guy called Sir Liam Donaldson, who's the kind of, you know, the health advisor of the government, who I wouldn't let loose on a blow-up doll personally, never mind a human body. He announces a predicted 65,000 British people dying from swine flu in the winter. Now, how do you put those two things together? Because something's coming that is going to instigate a much more powerful impact of the virus on people, with the view of starting the dominoes falling towards mandatory vaccination. This is why I say people really have to hold firm, strong backbone, hold their courage, because if you're thinking about, oh, well, I'm frightened, I'm going to acquiesce, well, I tell you, the impact of the vaccine, if you allow you and your children and grandchildren to have it, is going to be far more terrifying in terms of consequences, not necessarily immediately, but short, medium, and long term, than ever standing up now and saying no is.
Well, we've got a front runner on this vaccine business. She's also connected with our website and radio program. Desiree Reuver, she's a medical journalist, a research journalist, and she also says that they will have a sort of a slow release thing in the vaccine, so that not everybody at the same time will show the same symptoms.
She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. I mean, I said, you know, weeks and weeks ago, there's no way that you're going to have the vaccine and keel over. Now, some do, and some will, because that happens with all vaccines. It might happen to more people this time. But vast numbers of people are not going to walk out of the room and collapse. Why? Because no one else waiting outside is going to have it, are they? You know, it's going to be like what happened in 1976 in America, when they had this swine flu scam, because they said one soldier died of it, who in the end didn't die of it. It was something else. And anyway, enough people became injured by the vaccine and had terrible problems of autoimmune disease, paralysis, that they had to stop it. So again, that was a trial run. They'll learn from that. So this slow release situation, I absolutely agree with that. And there's a number of things. If you are going to get access, you hope, to every human body on the planet.